You are now listening to the Melanated Movement podcast with Tess and Anne. We invite you to take a deep breath, open your mind, and prepare to go on this wild ride. Episode loading in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to the first episode of season 3 of the Melanated Movement podcast. Yes. This is your girl Anne. I know you missed us. I'm here with my amazing co-host Tess Anne.
Oh my goodness. That was so loud. I apologize. I'm just so deeply excited.
I'm deeply excited. We're absolutely ridiculous. You would think we were like some young children. You should. So for this season, we have quite a few things just that's ready for you guys, and we're excited to really expose them as the episodes continue. We have a few things up our sleeves that we want you guys to get excited with us. So as time goes on, we'll tell you guys what's new, keep you guys in the loop, and also give you a chance to participate. So as things continue, please keep your ears open as you delve a little bit deep into the MMP family.
That's right. I remember like back to military days. I don't know if you used to, if they did that during your basic training when they were like trying to get your attention. It'd be like ears, like we were children, and then everybody had to respond open.
That's some Navy shit.
Oh, okay.
I'm be like, shut the fuck up. They were like, I hear you, Mon Capitan.
Mon Capitan.
And nah, they would just walk in, and like as soon as they walked in, no one would be speaking. Like, are you dumb?
Like, get it together.
No, yeah, you'll make the wall sweat. Like as soon as you hear somebody that stands up, there's no more speaking. Like, what you gotta talk about? Private shit? You ain't got shit to talk about. And if you're gonna talk about something, you gotta make the walls sweat.
Yeah. Oh, did it make you repeat what you were saying because it seemed to be so important?
Nah.
Okay. So again,
they said, all right, Private, since you got a lot to say, you can go ahead and go ahead. Everybody on your feet.
Yeah.
Front leaning rest.
Hey, count bodybuilders. Begin.
Bodybuilders was crazy. They said, come on, small arms. They was motivating y'all in the Navy. They said, y'all better get y'all shit together in the Army.
I mean, we had to find a way to keep up with y'all.
You'll never be able to keep up. It's okay though.
Oh damn! She came up to season 3 and chose violence.
I will always choose violence. I will always choose violence because one thing about two things for sure: without the Army, there would be no Navy.
See, I hear you, but
like, shit, we're over 200 years old, bro.
How about us?
No,
how long has this country been free? This country has been free for as long as, I mean, free in quotations.
Right, free. Free. It's Drake.
For as long as what's 2024 minus 1776? Because ours was in 1775. Let's see. When was yours? 249 years.
What is? With the Army?
The Navy.
Shoot. But still,
looking it up, aren't you? You're looking it up.
So you guys have been old. You guys are 200. How old?
250 years, give or take.
The Navy.
Yeah. What do you got? Ain't shit, Army.
That's okay, because the Army will always say things that aren't right. But no, I really. It says, how old is the Army? It says 248 years.
Okay.
From 1775.
So we're about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But in my mind, Army's first, then Navy, and then you guys birth the Marines like 200 years later. Why it took so long to birth the Marines? Into the Marines, like they're under 100 years, no?
I think we finally realized that we needed complementary strength because.
Not complimentary. That's crazy.
We needed people to we needed this the smarties to stay on the ship and we needed the bronze.
Hold on, first of all, we just want to tell everybody we really respect all the branches. We really appreciate your service.
God, no,
Thank
this
you
is
for your
like a
service.
rip. Like, no, we're joking.
Of course, we're both military people. We're both veterans.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because this is such a thing that happens with military folk. They're like, well, you're not as good as da 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 da. But when the Air Force steps up, y'all gonna say anything? Y'all ain't gonna say shit. Because one thing about it, two things for sure, the Air Force gets paid to stay on our bases for they get an inconvenience fee. And then if they
all I'm gonna say about the Air Force is this. I remember one time I was at the Naval Air Technical Training Center in Pensacola. Hoorah. And then went
power to the people.
And we started on a 6-mile run, right? Mm-hmm. And when we left, they were stretching, and when we came back, they were still stretching. The Air Force beeps. So I'm not gonna say they're weak, but I'm just gonna say like they only got to run a mile.
Facts. They're a little thicker. Yo, have you seen the new Army APRT or the new PT test for them? Crazy.
No. Really?
Crazy. So like, before we were doing push-ups, sit-ups, and then running the 2 miles or walking the 2.5 miles. Mm-hmm. So you still have to do that.
That's crazy.
You still gotta do that shit. But now there's a deadlift. There's a pull, like you have to pull like a sack filled with something left. Girl, it's like a 5-course meal, which is long as hell.
Imagine, would you do it again? Would you do it again?
No. Actually, to be honest, if I was still in it, I would have just continued because I would have kept up with my regimen. Like I was working out for so many years, just been like, all right, cool. But for me to go back in that thing,
that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Because I stopped running. Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
When I tore my meniscus in my left knee and I damaged my nerves in my ankles, boy, I tell you, when I was overseas, when I came back, and they're like, oh yeah, go ahead, Sarin, go ahead and run. I was like, poor little Tink Tink was struggling. I just was like, I don't know about that song. I don't think this running thing. But my power walk, amazing. It's amazing. I was power walking for dear life.
For your life.
For my life. So I'm curious how that would transfer over for like the amount of weight we would have to carry and certain things. Because I mean, with the medical profile that I had, the only thing I could do, they didn't restrict me from weight per se, but like as time has gone on, I don't want to go through my list of disabilities, but babe, my back hurt, my hip hurt, my knees hurt, my neck hurt, my spirit hurts. I don't know how long I would go as far as I needed to get the benefits I needed.
One thing for sure.
Two things about it. You gonna pay this disability? Shit.
I miss you so much, and I miss you on the other side of the mic. Can you tell? Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, we have to give the peeps an update. So now we are switching to more like a visual audio because me and Tess are in 2 different places working on expanding our success. So so if it sounds a little different, if it look a little different, it just might be. You feel me?
A little different.
So we're putting out our recordings on the same day, Thursday evenings, Friday morning, so everybody can catch it. And then once we put our videos together, we're going to send everything out so you guys will see it. It will not be launched on the same day because I don't know who got time to edit them both, but kudos to you.
Expect it on the same day.
Damn, Tessa don't expect that, dude. He said, producer Tess on the mic said, y'all better just relax and get what you get. But we have more available now, thank goodness, because of technology. So what we're working on is we're releasing our audios on the same day, those Thursdays. So you guys are going to catch that. Our goal is twice a month. You guys can catch that from us and create great content. We have a list of amazing topics. We have people who have reached out to us during our hiatus that want to be a part of our team. And it's really beautiful to see the different emails. We've connected with different podcast hosts and that come in. So there's a lot of things to not only hear, but also see. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, please do. We're so excited. We're so excited to be doing this. We're like, one thing that I know that we talked about ad nauseum was how we didn't want to stop no matter what, like the distance was going to be. And being in 2 different geographical locations now is just like, how are we gonna make this happen? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And then seeing our progress has been amazing. Like when we first started, like this is our third season. When
Mhm.
we first started, we started off in Tessa's closet, even though we were out the closet. You feel me?
Closet.
Period. So we started in there, but we did such a great job. Like I feel like within the research of like padding the walls and getting the mics we needed and testing different systems, we were able to get actually good quality sound. Y'all can't tell we in the closet, can you? No, you can't. And
Mm-mm.
then we moved on to studio work, and then we transformed an office into our studio space, and now we're in two different spaces. So, I mean, we're still working in studios, and as we get more people and more guests, we'll be in a studio recording, so the quality will not change. However, the physical locations has changed because, I mean, before when we first started, we both quit our jobs. Yeah.
Wow.
We
Yep.
had both quit our jobs.
Yep.
We were both recently out the military. We were
Mhm.
both like looking for what the next step was. Like we got more into activist things. We got back into school. We got into new careers, and now we're expanding ourselves. So season 3 really is like it's a
The expansion
moment.
pack. Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
really
I like
is.
it's like you're like very deep about it. I'm like, no, expansion pack, thinking of like a game or something.
Available now. That's
So,
facts.
what have we missed?
A lot. So we've been gone for quite a few months, and we decided to do that one because I think it was a much needed mental break. When
Mhm.
we ended our last episode, it was around the anniversary of losing our grandmother,
Yep.
and it was the first year, so we wanted to give ourselves grace, but also it's birthday season, it's holiday season, there's a lot going on, and even though some podcasters really like rev up around that time, we're opposite. So
Yes, it was like,
we're
you need a little bit of rest,
a little bit of break. Yeah. It's ADHD on max during that. So what we really thought out, and this has been pretty consistent for each season. Our seasons have normally ran between February and October for the
Mhm.
last 3 seasons. So we figured we might as well stay on the same track, even though the hiatus is a little bit long. I think it makes sense for us to have a little bit of a break so we don't, start crying again during our episode, and it all makes sense.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Exactly. Yeah, but we missed like you wanted to tell you happy Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, Valentine's Day.
Yes. So
Mhm.
what is it? So it's Native Americans Remembrance Day instead of Thanksgiving. That a lot of people celebrate. They don't celebrate Thanksgiving anymore. And then during December, November, December time was Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas time, and then we have New Year's, Chinese New Year's.
My gosh. Yeah, happy holidays, guys.
Yeah, happy holidays, happy Valentine's Day, happy
Yeah, I want to be
Galentine's Day, happy
inclusive.
Side
Yes.
Bitch Day, all
Mhm,
that.
mhm. That's right. Oh my gosh. And we had to recognize and release our first episode during Black
Black
History
History Month. Black,
Month.
black on black, blackity black on
Black,
black on
black,
black on
black,
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 black
black,
on black,
black, black.
black on black on black on black. Mm-hmm.
I just have
Every
one question.
day.
Like, have you, I mean, I know you black every day, but have you been like blackety black, black, black in February? Like, have you know what I'm saying? Like, what has that look like for you, Anne?
I mean, my car is black, my soul is black, my spirit. I feel like I'm black every day. I feel like specifically in this month though, I have recognized a few things. Like I've looked into more black history. Like I looked into more of like the Sandra Bland's and things like that. I had a chance to look into Trayvon Martin. I've taken
Mhm.
time to look into what's going on within my specific area, looked into like who are we like lifting up, what are we doing for our communities for Black History Month and things of that nature. Also, I've gotten into like a lot of like black gossip. I feel like gossip, but because I mean, we couldn't get away from the gossip between Cat Williams and Monique with what they's going on in Club Shay Shay Girl.
Oh
It was
my
kind of tough.
gosh. Yes.
They said Black History Month, we are here.
That Black History Month started from like January 5th. You
Period.
know what I'm saying?
I'm claiming the year as Black History Month because
No, I
honestly,
period. Mhm.
American history is Black history because the concept of Black is such a social construct that's been created by America. So whenever I realize this more so this month
Mhm.
in 2024. Like I knew like the whole black white thing was like an American thing, but like in like when people like the whole like Dominicans don't think they're black thing, in my mind I used to be like, well, they are black, but then like when I really think about it, I'm like, if they're in DR, regardless of what they struggle with the
Mhm.
whole thing with Columbus, because that's their own culture,
Mhm.
they wouldn't necessarily consider themselves Black in DR. They would consider themselves Dominican in DR. You feel me? Versus like when they come to the States, then it's like, oh, are you Black? Are you white? Do you have Hispanic like heritage or any connections or whatever? And
Mhm.
then they may mark it based on the color of their skin versus necessarily where they're from. You know what I'm saying? So if
Mhm.
you're like a white passing Hispanic person, you're gonna put white with Hispanic, whatever. And if
Mhm.
you're a Black, if you're like physically Black, you might put Black with Hispanic. Or if you're Dominican or you're from a place that doesn't necessarily recognize white or Black, you might just put, well, you might put white because there's a statue of Columbus in your main space. You might just put white with
Man, your
Hispanic.
main space.
No, really, like you go
Where you
downtown.
conduct business. No, no, for real, for real. No, I'm with
Yeah.
you. I
Yeah.
agree. Mhm.
So like
Mhm.
that was actually really interesting going through like I guess the history and the comments and things, people really dissecting how like color is really a construct. Like I knew that, but like stepping out of the United States, it's kind of like you can really see, I guess, a magnifying glass on us and how we deal with things versus everywhere else. It was
Mhm.
very like eye opening.
Eye-opening. No, for sure. I mean, I personally still struggle with this whole thing of like Black versus what African American, right? And I
Mhm.
feel like at the end of the day, that is going to be an identifier to somebody else perceiving you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
All I think was like, I do not want to be perceived. But unfortunately, what you show up as in the world is how people perceive you, and it is
Right.
so widely known, like that is like common massive knowledge that if you show up with, super tan skin, heavily melanated, you're going to be identified as Black. And
Right.
you may not, your roots may come from like somewhere else or whatever, or it can be brown, but like they mean something different. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so no, I definitely, and I think like we've been beefing, not something that we wanted to do per se as like a Haitian folk, but like we've been like they've always considered us to be inferior to
Inferior.
them.
Right.
So we've been beefing for a while now,
Too
and
long. Too long.
listen, I think that there's like this very very consented effort to distance themselves from their true roots, but it's like,
It's
nah,
weird.
bro, it's you're part of it. I mean, you were colonized by the by the Spanish, but listen, you's Black.
Black on black on black
Black
on
on
black
Black.
on black on
Maybe
black.
not on Black, maybe it's Black on brown on beige.
Not you get no, the black on brown on beige is
Sorry, I
crazy.
feel like you can get away with anything. It's Black History Month.
That could be a t-shirt. A black on brown on beige.
Black on brown on beige. Yeah,
On a beige shirt.
Oh, I like that. We
That's a
should make
good
it
idea.
happen.
I
Let's do it.
agree. I'm into
I-
shirts. We've been invited to a few different places to record live. Our amazing in-house FinDom, Jada Wada, is Jada with 3 A's at the end and Wada with 3 A's, I believe, or does a hella A's, girl. Look her up. She's absolutely amazing. Our local FinDom is hosting. She's getting back into different events in Palm Beach County again. And she's
Yeah,
invited us to
she's
do like
amazing.
she's great. She's invited us to do a live show, not of her necessarily
In action.
in action, right, but more so in conversation, but like also demonstration. She has a consent seminar where there's an in-person one and there's private sessions as well, so definitely look out for us doing some like live events. I'm gonna test that out and see how that sounds, and if we're
Mhm.
jiggy with it, we'll continue, and that will be like a special thing that we'll put out too, just so we have some content for you guys to go back and listen to, and also that we can promote some events that's happening locally,
Mhm.
because now that we are in two different spaces, we get to really get a chance to compare and recognize certain things that do happen in our spaces and get people to be in safe spaces with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I think it was like a weekend ago. Yeah, last weekend actually. They had something called Nerd Night.
Oh,
And
yeah, I saw that.
I know, and I was just like, "Wait, that is something that exists for
I
like
love
for
that.
real." And they were lectures, but mixed with like alcohol, and I just absolutely love the way that it just
I
like
think that's a good mix. I'm not
it's a
gonna
great
lie.
mix. And then like the one I was like talking about, inclusivity in gaming, like what are the types of skins that, that are free and the ones that are not. And then another one was about like, the like data points when dating as a nerd, as a data nerd or whatever. And then the third one, which was to
Dating
me
as
was
a data
fascinating.
nerd?
Yes, and
I
it's like the
never
type
thought of
of
that.
he like Homeboy created a sequel like to actually
When do you say
plug
sequel, like the
together.
program sequel?
Yes.
Of course he
Yes,
did.
that is
Mhm.
correct. Yes, and
The
he
sequel look
deleted it
hard.
because he's now married. Huh?
That
What
secret
happened?
program looks hard. It
Uh,
looks so hard. It looks so
he created one for dating. Imagine just casually creating a sequel for your dating experiences so you can
exactly.
like evaluate and like adjust. Like it blew my mind.
Oh my
Anyway, he's
god.
married now, so he had to delete the
It makes
program
sense.
because people were
Oh
asking for
damn.
samples, stuff like that, and templates. And then the
He
last
didn't sell
one,
it. He could sell that.
he did not sell it. He just, he's like, I got mine
Period.
and
But
I'm good now. So I'm just gonna
he could have sold that thing for a
like
pretty penny.
delete yourself from my life.
Yeah, he could have
Yeah.
just taken his experience. He didn't have to. He could have changed him and his wife's name to like what John. Wow, John and Jane Doe names, so that they
Right.
could have kind of like an experience in there, so people can see, I guess, their transition through the
Mhm.
program. I mean, if you
Mhm.
create it once, can you do it twice? It's all I'm saying.
I mean, I feel like that's a like you have a very valid line of questioning here, and there should be some sort of
Bring
follow
him
up. But like I
on. Let's
think
have a
right,
conversation.
we should definitely do that. But I think like what you're just saying, like I think identifying some safe spaces to hit, like I think is one thing that we're going to bring to the space, that we have an opportunity to bring more to the space
Yeah.
as we're on an expansion pack. But yes, I'm so thrilled for like the live experiences, which is why we need to
Yeah.
monetize this ASAP, because girl gonna need to get some flights back to to
Don't
places.
worry. Season 3, like you said, is an expansion pack. So there's tons of great things coming. We've been getting what's that called? There's just a lot of great things coming. So don't worry. We'll be
Yeah.
able to really afford these things. Right now we're not still in the poorhouse.
So,
We just we
produced, self
all
done. I
that
don't know,
self
like self
everything.
everything. So
Yeah.
we're very excited. Oh, and we also talked about live streaming, where we're actually going
Yes.
to, have like live stream options and invite like people to kind of come on
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be
ask questions.
cool.
And it's gonna be good. So
It's gonna be
stay.
good.
It's gonna be good. I'm
It's gonna
so
be good.
happy.
Me
I'm just
too.
yay.
So I'm
Oh, that
grateful.
hasn't changed. The yay is still here.
I'm
So
telling you. I mean, just because the location changed, don't mean that we change because we still here for
true.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Here.
really quickly, I just wanted to tap into this before I get kicked out of this recording room, girl.
Mm.
Is I feel like they watching me. No, I'm playing. They're watching me. I haven't heard a knock, knock, knock on my door. So I'm gonna take my time.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm glad that we're
Girl,
on
but
the
that's
same
kind of
page.
scary. Y'all should see
I
the amount
know.
of setup it takes for us. So, like, because we're testing new things, I feel like that has really been our thing. We are definitely like tinkerers. I have
Mhm.
3 laptops or 2 laptops and a desktop set up. We have 2 different
Right.
mics. We have lighting. We have 2 Focusrites. We have things going just so the quality remains.
Mhm.
So, as we continuing through this, just laugh with me as I figure it out. Because without producer Tess, girl,
We're
I miss
figuring this
you.
out together. Look, I
I
am not the thing.
I'm signing up for a class.
Tell me how I signed up for Fiverr looking for podcast producers. Like, I don't know if we're gonna figure
Yeah,
out this
girl, you
video
got an
thing out.
email. They sent us an email. There are people that are interested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna conduct some interviews.
Yeah. It sounds good.
Yeah, Fiverr,
We
if you
might
guys
need
don't
some
know.
help.
Yeah, if Fiverr could sponsor us, that'd be good too. Because we've been using Fiverr for a few things. We've used Fiverr for
Mhm.
logos. We've used Fivers to find a few different things. So I mean, if y'all not on Fiverr, you have to get on there.
Yeah.
They're great.
Even if it's to like offer your services, like they need people to translate documents for them. If you want to make a quick, $20-$30 for something like that,
Exactly.
yeah, definitely. So
Self-made
Fiverr,
starts on Fiverr.
sponsor us, because look at we're giving you free publicity here.
Free,
Anyway,
but we're not gonna do that no more.
no,
I just
no,
wanted
no,
to say that
no
one time, but just in case someone was looking to make their own money, for
Mhm.
things, Fiverr does really help. Like even for notarizing things, you could do notary on there, website creation, all kinds of things, analyst stuff. There's all kinds of things. So before we get too deep into
Mhm.
promoting other people, I wanted to just really talk about like how the whole new me or new year new me thing, I know that was a topic that
Mhm.
happens, and
Mhm.
I'm curious with the way that the world is really spiraling out of control. It's on fire. And most recently, all of AT&T was shut down nationwide, which was a huge red flag, and it really made my senses tweak. Like I have AT&T, and not being able to use my phone, that's not the scary part. The scary part is not being able to use our phone nationwide. I'm going to get into why that was scary here later, but I did want to say really quick, for like New Year, new me, like, are you doing resolutions? Is that still a thing? And if it is a thing, like, how you been keeping up with it?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a great question.
My co-host, yes.
Like, is somebody else in the room with us?
I mean,
No.
it might be.
I feel like I went from this very elaborate like listing of the things that I want to do and calling them resolutions, and keeping some sort of accountability to everything, and then crapping on myself at the end of the year because I didn't realize them or didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to, has kind of like taken a back seat. And instead, like, I have these like high points, right? Like bulleted areas where I'm like, yeah, maybe I want to do a little bit better in this area, in this area, in this area. I also learned from someone, and I didn't go into any research about it, but I did look into like the 90-day plan, where instead of looking at the resolutions or goals or objectives like as this year-long process, giving yourself like a shorter amount of time to accomplish certain things. It's essentially like SMART goals, right? But then breaking it down in ways that are a little bit more realizable, because a lot of the resolutions fail. I forget the numbers, the stats, but I think it's like about like between 80 and 90% of New Year resolutions like actually don't come to fruition,
especially after the first 30 days. When they say after January passes,
people just fall out.
Yeah,
right. And so I've been trying to kind of take on this approach instead of be like, okay, I have until March to do X, Y, and Z and accomplish this.
You're doing quarter by quarter.
Exactly. And we've applied this to as my our mascot is barking. And I have applied it to I've applied it to like our even our approach to this podcast, right? Like what we're trying to do. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Just trying to like kind of compact the time frame and having just highlights. And then if I need to break it down further, then I do so. What about you?
So I did stop doing the resolutions a few years ago as well, just because I feel like I got too deep into my mind of where I'm supposed to be for my age in comparison to my peers. And once I broke out of that, I created goals. And it was based on if I'm in school, be like a 6-month period or like a 4 to 5 month period for schoolwork, and how to like intertwine like my career goals in there as well. Since finishing one degree last year and then moving on to another degree this year, I have to say I didn't have any resolutions at the end of the year, just because it was a little complicated getting into this school. But now that I'm in it, I feel like within this, like, I do the whole quarter thing as well. Myself and my partner do the same, because she does more so like Q1, Q2, Q3 for her business. I'm not sure if she's like throughout her life, but for me, like, I do Q1, Q2, Q3 for my life. And so what I am taking this first 3 months was kind of trying to figure out how this is working. I'm in a new dynamic. I'm in a new space. I'm writing out what I guess my challenges, and then for my challenges, creating goals from them, and then how to move forward. So right now I'm in kind of like my groundwork phase of kind of, I know what my ultimate goal is, and then I'm just breaking them down into pieces as I figure out and navigate this a little complicated portion of my life. I've been following ever since I took, was it 7 Habits of Successful People, or 7 Habits of something?
Yeah, that's a very good one.
By Covey. Ever since I took that one, that's the skills I've been doing. So taking my big rocks, or like my big goals, and then breaking them down into portions. And that's how I figure out what I'm doing in the time frame that I'm doing. Because I used to just think in like a big umbrella type thing. And now, since I've broken it down, I've given myself like goals for each quarter. Like, I will finish like whatever this is within a certain amount of time, and giving myself realistic timelines and goals. But it has to be, and I give myself a realistic goal of when to finish much earlier than when the goal probably should be done, because I know how my brain works, and giving myself that grace to rest in between, but actually meeting those goals is kind of the way I've been doing that for the last 2 years. Just because like my life just wasn't giving that this is your resolutions, you're gonna keep this up for the entire year. my life changes too much for that. It doesn't work like that for me.
I hear you. I hear you. I like how you just like people like, wait, are we still good? Yeah.
Yeah, girl. I just hope I'm not like in someone's space, because the way that these like these recording spaces work, like you rent them, you know how we work. Explain it to our viewers, because Tess is the producer. She knows how it works. So don't get it twisted. I'm not, how it works is like you rent it for a certain time frame, and because I was testing, I was like, let me go test. We had something scheduled for today. We just moved it up so that I could test the equipment. Everything looks good. However, the person, they like booked me and someone else like back to back. And I'm just really hoping that person is just has a slight case of ADD and will be late.
That's what we're hoping for. But we're not. I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted for our intro to season 3 to also be like very, kind of concise, right? We wanted this to be the space where we're like kind of caught up with everyone and just very light, because we are gonna get deep into like some of the messed upness that is actually going on right now. I think that it is worth talking about. We have to highlight them. We have to shed light, and it's not easy. They're very difficult conversations, but I will say that they're not nearly as challenging or difficult as the people actually living those experiences. And so we definitely need to do our part, as best as we can. And I think that's one of the things that actually drew us together from the very beginning. We're both jobless, and finding that the purpose is like these things, these lights need to be shed, and we feel strong convictions about certain like social justice aspects and what's right. And I think that this is going to be a very heavy lifting this year, as things have just gone down to complete and utter chaos.
Right. The whole world is on fire. Like, and literally and figuratively.
And we seem to be losing our humanity a bit too. And it's even more than, before. And I think, I don't know, I'm very thrilled to embark on this season 3 journey with you.
Yeah, I feel like the state of the Lulu is just changing, because I feel like the Lulu before, we did use it in a sense of being happy and going after things we want in a individualistic way. But the state of the Lulu that we're in while the world is burning is tough to stay in. And then also the ways that we thought we were making impact before is not as impactful as we thought. Like the commercials that are coming up saying, well, your hashtag didn't work. It hits my spirit. You know, like online, you'll do like hashtag free Palestine, because it's always free Palestine, right? So in that, oh god, that whole like situation, there was a commercial how someone was like, your hashtags aren't working. Like the hashtag is meant for you to create awareness. The hashtag is meant for you to then click on it to then bring you to a new space or whatever, to like create protests, to create awareness in some capacity. But then like there has to be a step 2. Like there has to be something that you go after that is going to make an impact, to where like it's getting the right people's attention and things like that, because everybody has like their hands on like all the things that are happening. So that really brought some reality to my life. That quote of your hashtags aren't working really put me in this real state of like, it took me out of the Lulu. Like I feel like we've been in Lulu in a sense of like going through inflation and things of that nature. However, to continue in the state of the Lulu right now is just tough. Like you have to live in real life. It's hard to escape it.
I think like Delulu, from like an individual stance, like as you're trying to navigate, how things affect you directly and personally, is like very different from applying a Delulu, and I don't even call it Delulu. I think it's just a blind, landscape over the crises that are going on around you, right? And like the collective plight of your brothers, sisters, of your, the people around you, of your own connected flesh and blood. I mean, I just feel like it's a very different kind of passivity, right? And inaction and complicity, even to a certain degree. And not to say that we have the answers. I certainly don't. I don't have the answers. Like, and I and sometimes I think for the sake of our own stability, because we may have frail mental health in some aspects, and like seasonal affective disorder is a thing, which I hope we can talk about it a little bit too.
Right. We have to talk about the real things for sure in the mix of everything else. Right, of
I think it's
course.
important that, you know, that we turn back to what is going on and not let ourselves be blinded by, you know, propaganda, one, to like just people saying whatever the heck they want with their mouths. We're also in an election year where like stuff is going to be lit, you know, and it's just not in the best way.
Election year is wild to me, considering who, like, I know who our candidates are, obviously, but like, who do we have to vote for?
It's scary.
It is, because I feel like either way we lose. Like, either way we lose. Like, nothing. There's no diversity in the things we think that are diverse. There's not there. If it was, the changes that needed to have been made would have been made already. I have so many questions as to why the United States is going backwards, but then I also remember we have a slavery mentality, and things of maintenance always go back to slavery and capitalism and keeping people in this weird dynamic of power. So America will continue to stay behind the curve. However, the audacity of them trying to stay in that state of mind as the world is what it is so disgusting to me. So it's like election year, like who we vote for.
And you know what's wild is like the level of ignorance they assume that certain groups of people have, and yet I'm speaking specifically of like the melanated folks. Right. The last thing that I heard and read about was about the sneaker. Have you heard about
the sneakers?
That? Yeah.
Let Trump put out
It's not funny. I just don't have another response.
The audacity is hilarious. The gall is hilarious.
I'm speechless. But
because why? Because why? They say because Black people love sneakers. Yes. Trump is gonna win by putting out a pair of sneakers because Black people love sneakers.
On Fox News, like actual news anchors with
degrees.
Yes.
These are news anchors
and journalism,
that have degrees in media and international journalism. 4-year degrees. Degrees. And you're saying that Trump definitely has the Black vote now because the
sneakers.
I have to laugh.
Think of us like this is what you think of us. Yeah. Yeah.
Because of sneakers. Them sneakers better be fly them up, because regardless, I ain't getting them. But they better be, if there's some ugly pair of, you know how, like, what company is it? I don't know. There's just one. Is it Dolce? No. I don't know. It was a big brand, and they put out the pair of white, dirty sneakers for like $2,000. Maybe it was Dolce. And the audacity of them selling it for $2,000, and people, and then like some people in the comments were just like, now they're just playing in our faces because you're gonna put out a dirty sneaker for who to wear for $2,000. Because that is that stigma of how like Black people love like the name brand and this or whatever have you, and there's some that might flock to that, but I have to say it ain't gonna be me, and you're not gonna get my vote off no mother loving sneaker.
Are you serious?
The idea that he can even run for president is still boggles my mind. How is he still a candidate?
Two things like came up for sure. It's like, one, how dare you?
Right.
Like, who we think of us, and two, how does he still get, like, in spite of everything that's going on, like, how is he still eligible? Are you kidding me? Make it make sense.
And we don't have like a good candidate that's giving us anything to look forward to, because like, I mean, honestly, each person that comes in has to deal with whatever the last president left, and Biden was doing a lot of cleaning up on Trump's behalf, right? But then like he's still him, and I accepted so much more for Kamala Harris. When it came to HBCU step in, she was out there. Anything else, like you would see, like I think I've seen her 4 times in the entire 4 years. Like I would love to know. The thing is, it's not always about physically seeing someone, even though visibility does matter, considering you are a public figure on an amazing, humongous platform. However, if we know that you're actively doing something, then no one's going to say anything. But what has she actively been doing? We had the whole thing with DeSantis regarding schools and things like that, and she stood up and said something about it. But how much have you done to where we wouldn't have to deal with the things that DeSantis brought up as you as the VP? You haven't done all those things passed. We no longer have all of these different studies in school anymore. They took sociology out of being a mandatory course in your undergrad, which is absolutely necessary because sociology studies what? People, culture, environment, why things happen, capitalism, crisis, racism, right? Took that out of your mandatory, and that's just intro to sociology. That's all you have to take for undergrad. Intro to sociology. If you want to study sociology, then there's there's going to be that major for you. They took out psychology, AP psychology from high school. They took out psychology as a mandatory course for undergrad, which is obnoxious, right?
They're trying to, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So they started at civics and they got to sociology. I'm not sure if civics was taken out because like my son took civics, but he was already in there. So I don't know how that changes. They've now taken out African American studies in major institutions. So like if you want to take African American studies in a major institution in Florida, there's now something you have to sign. And it's like the class then has to be created based on some form of consent. It's kind of, I don't know, it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that. It was circulating around where it was like a Miami school.
A school.
Yeah, I had to get a consent form just to show a movie that was about like that depicted. I don't think even like had a whole lot of weight in history, but it depicted, some history about African American folks, and they had to get consent for their kid. Like parents had to give consent for their kids to participate in the showing.
Yeah.
Like what kind of education are you expecting
when it is so African American? Right.
I don't understand. I mean, I do.
I get it, but why?
It's replicative of so much that has happened before at the very beginning of a autocratic government where dictatorship ruled and a group specifically got oppressed, ostracized, and subsequently nearly annihilated for the sake of and the annihilation is happening on the other side right now. You know what I'm saying? It is a genocide. And the way that our political leaders are contorting themselves to circumvent the truth about what's happening is just something that has given me so much nausea. And
it's absolutely disgusting.
It fills me with rage. And to make matters worse, like the amount of aid that is being poured into those efforts, just like
it's odd. It's so odd to me because they cut from military. They cut from the United States military budget to send money over to Israel for weapons. They're sending over our weapons over to Israel, right? And the thing is that the thing that blows my mind in World War II, we were rescuing people, right? Isn't that what our allyship did? And then now in 2024, we're now supplying weapons to do something that is on the same line, right?
I mean, even back then, it was just like very much because and that's going to be a topic for another time, but
yeah, because if we get deep into it
the other day and like learned about the different responses from other countries when that the mass killing essentially of Jewish people was happening, of Jews was happening, and the lack of response from so many people. So many people, there are still deniers to this day. And then the whole time I'm looking at it, I'm like kind of drawing a parallel in my mind. I'm like, okay, so oppressed people, right? Oppressed people oppress people. So are you essentially, is it like a vindictive, like, because it wasn't originally your land, and now you're Anyway, I know
Yeah,
for another time, but
for sure.
I think it's just giving us, it's just we're getting juiced up.
Getting juiced up. That's what we get from being. I feel like over the hiatus, we did get a chance to get a really big mental break to where I do feel like I am mentally ready to tackle all of our topics. So if you guys are interested in some of the topics that we will be talking about, we have just a handful of topics. I think it's 5 or 6 that's listed on our Instagram, Melanated Movement Podcast. Check us out. Let us know if that's topics that you're interested in. If you do want to give us a topic idea, the DMs are open. And before we were having issues, I'm not going to lie. Some of our DMs are getting trapped where it needed to be approved to be removed. So if I didn't respond to you for a number of months, I am so sorry. And I did find a few of them. So if you have anything that you want to send via DM, definitely send it. I'm more vigilant now, so I will find it. If you have anything that you want to tell us, definitely hit us up. We are on X, aka Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are on Threads as well. If you are interested in following us on anything or just finding a platform to listen to us, we have our Linktree, linktree.com/Melanated Movement Podcast. Hit that link. That way you have different sources to listen to our amazing episodes, as well as check in with us, see us personally, as well as say what's up, girl. Join whatever we got going on. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys.
Absolutely. We're really excited to be interacting with you. Thank you for all of the DMs that we did receive about the topic and all the feedback. Like we really appreciate it. Some of them were spicy. Some of them were
like, we like the spicy ones. We definitely got a request. We put out We put out, should we bring back the sex series? Everybody said yes. Which was really cool. And so there was a few topics as well on there. If you guys go to our highlighted season 3 little thing on Instagram, some of our sex series topic suggestions are listed on there. Is there something that you want to say, yes, we must talk about this in our next series? Let us know. We're definitely open to it. And the series is going to work a little bit different this go around. When we do have series, it won't be a collective of like 4 series talking about this one topic. It'll be every other. That way, like our listeners remain consistent, because we do have family that listens and they can't listen to our sex series. They don't like it. They don't like that. And I feel you. That's fine.
I have to filter a little bit. It's just a tiny bit,
It's funny. My mom will listen to it, but my brother's won't. It's weird. It's
They're like, we don't want to see you in that light.
Right. It's right. I'm cool with that too. Because if they have a sex series, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna skip this one. So our series are already gonna run a little bit different this go around. However, please stay tuned for that. We have a few series lined up, of really good topics that we really wanted to like tap into. So that's just a heads up on that.
Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for, I loved getting messages like, "Hey, are y'all coming back?
What's up?
What's happening? Like, what's going on? Like, you're just going like that. And
like, up and leave us like that, right?"
So, thank you for letting us know that you care to listen to what we have to say and share, and we look forward to more.
Right. So, some of our guests got DMs too. Some of our guests got DMs and asked if they're going to come back onto our podcast. I mean, of course, any guest that has been on our podcast before is welcome to come back on and discuss further whatever topic they would like. I'm very open to that. We love guests. I think it's good to have a different perspective too.
We absolutely need it, and we're open-minded, and we want to. We do want to hear it, because we're sure that people feel vastly different about so many topics, and so many of our topics are inherently divisive.
Of course.
We definitely invite more perspectives to
and we like that. I think conversation is definitely a key to getting a better understanding of things. So especially if someone's on the opposite end, unless you're out here talking about some madness, because I can't handle that type of energy. However, I'm very open to conversations. I feel like it's important to share information and understand different perspectives and really hear people think about certain things. I mean, not everybody thinks the same, obviously. So we're definitely open to that. So thank you guys for really supporting us, supporting our guests, which I wasn't surprised, but I mean, it was surprising a little. But the fact that you guys reach out to our guests to show love too, amazing. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. And so we'll see you again very soon.
Very soon.
Very, very soon. And so without further ado, this has been
the Melanated Movement Podcast
with
Tess Anne.
Until next time.
Bye.